Hi everyone, how are you? Hope you are well. So today we're going to talk about the housing market, in particular, how much house can you afford? So, when it comes to buying a home, your home value should not be more than 2.5 times your salary. So, I have my little calculator here. So, say for example, you make $100,000 a year. Just an example. Multiply that by 2.5. So you should not be looking for a house that's more than $250,000. Say you bring in, let's go with 36,000 a year. Multiply that by 2.5. You should not be looking for anything that's over $90,000. Now, the reason being is that you want to make sure that your monthly mortgage is not too high. Your monthly mortgage should not be more than 28% of your income. So, say for example, you bring in $5,000 a month. So 28%, your monthly mortgage needs to be less than 1,400. And in my opinion, less than that. But that's the general rule. Should be less than 28% of your income. Say you bring in 3,000 a month. We'll multiply that by 28%. Your monthly mortgage should not be more than $840. So the rule is when looking for a home, do not purchase anything more than 2.5 times your salary, and do not have a monthly mortgage more than 28% of your monthly income. Now, I have seen some exceptions out here. I saw someone who I was trying to bring on the show who decided not to come. And his story is he made 36,000 a year and he bought a multifamily. I don't remember what the amount was, but it was more than this rule of 2.5. So according to the rule, he should not be looking at anything more than 90,000. But according to his story, he purchased a multifamily that was way more than this. And he is doing well. So it depends on how comfortable you are with jumping out there. So I gave you the rules to be comfortable. But some people don't go by rules, they jump. So he jumped and it worked. You may know who I'm talking about. I tried to bring the show and he declined. But it would be interesting to hear his story about defying these numbers because the numbers say nothing more than 2.5 times your salary and no monthly mortgage more than 28%. Those are the rules to be comfortable, to have a successful, to be successful in this, especially when you are just starting out. So those are the rules. And of course, some people do not go by the rules. And by his story, he didn't go by the rules. And it worked out very well for him. Very well for him. So I just wanted you to be aware of what the rules are to be comfortable, be successful. But like I said before, other people just jump. They don't follow rules. So that is how it goes with home affordability. Now, if you have tenants who will be covering this expense, then that will be fine. It depends on how comfortable you are with this. If you have tenants that will cover all these expenses, then yes, of course, you could bend these rules. All right, but those are the rules. 2.5 times, less than 28%. So I'm going to tell you what is going on in the housing market. So every day there's a little bit of variation, what is going on in the housing market. So in the year 2021, back in 2021, investors were flooding the market. They were buying up houses because the mortgage rates were lower. That was 2021, not too long ago. Now, as you know, people are waiting around and they're not buying anything. However, the big banks and the hedge funds, they're buying up everything. So, what people are waiting for is a number of things. They're waiting for these rates to go down, and they're also waiting for the home prices to fall. And so, I'm going to give you an update on what is going on with these home prices. So, in certain areas, they have seen a correction, that is Las Vegas and Phoenix, Atlanta, and Charlotte. So, home prices in Las Vegas have fell by 67%. Home prices in Phoenix have fell by 66.7%. Home prices in Atlanta have fell by 62.8%. Home prices in Charlotte have fell by 61.9%. And then the smallest declines are the areas that you live in. So those declines are around less than 10%. So the areas that you live in, they're declining, very tiny. But everywhere you don't live, the numbers are going down drastically. So the smallest declines have been noted in Milwaukee, New York, and a tiny increase in Baltimore, 1.4, 1.4%. So they are noticing that people are still not buying. They looked at single family homes, they look at condos, and they look at multifamilies. So there has been a drop in people buying single families. The drop is 49.8%. But people are like, nah, I ain't buying nothing. So they're looking at this and they're taking statistics. So the purchases of single family homes has dropped by 49.8%. The purchases of condos has dropped by 35.6%. The purchases of multifamily has dropped by 31.1%. They have noticed that purchases on high-priced and mid-priced homes have dropped by 50%. They have noticed that purchases of low-price homes have dropped by 28.6%. So that is the latest update on the housing market. The latest update on the housing market. One more time, there are drastic declines in certain specific areas: Las Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta, Charlotte, and then small itty bitty declines, like in the Midwest area, Milwaukee, and New York. Um, Also, they're still seeing that people are not buying single, they're not buying condos, not buying multifamily. They're not buying high price homes, they're not buying mid price homes, and they're not buying low price homes. So that's what they're seeing, and they are recording this, like they're watching. Like this is what they're doing with their time. They're watching, and they are doing data analysis on what you do and your purchasing, what you're purchasing. They're doing data analysis, and they're making up these statistics, and then they post it in the media. That's what they're doing. As far as the Airbnb space goes, they are moving over to medium term rentals. So they have been doing that for a while, noting that there's a decrease in travelers during the wintertime. There was a decrease in travelers during COVID. However, there was a high rate of travelers when it comes to nurses, because people needed a lot of nurses. Nurses were traveling all over the place and making a whole bunch of money. So there was an increase with the nurses. So Airbnb, they do focus on certain populations. They focus on traveling nurses. They also focus on the insurance agencies. There are insurance agencies out here that cover people in the event that they have catastrophic events in their home where they have to leave the home immediately, such as floods or fires. So they leave the home immediately, and the people in the Airbnb space, they have access to these insurance companies to direct the people that need to leave their homes immediately to their Airbnb. So relationships with insurance companies, relationships with staffing agencies for nurses. So that is what some people in the Airbnb space uh, focus on, but they have noticed that during the winter months, there is less travel. And so what that means is they're fine. It's like seasonal. Like they're fine during the other months, but once winter hits, less people are traveling, and they notice that they only have people booking like on the weekends, and they don't have enough money to cover the mortgage. So they solve their problem by converting to what is called medium term rentals. And so that is what is going on in the Airbnb space. Medium term rentals, they make a lot more money as opposed to the traditional way of buying a home and renting it out. Um, However, there is the con of actually not owning the property. If you choose not to own the property, then you miss out on the appreciation, but you are making 3 to 4 times the amount of money that you would make doing it the traditional way. All right, so that is the latest update. What is going on in the housing market? So if you like the show, please press the like button. It helps the channel. Please hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss an episode. Also, if you're not in the stock market, click the link below. I'm going to help you get in the stock market. Join the rest of the world and get in the stock market. If you're interested in building a rental portfolio, click the link below and join us in our real estate group so that you are not building this portfolio solo. I mean, you can build it solo, but you have the option of doing it with a group. So check out those links below. All right. Thank you for watching and have a good rest of your nights. Bye for now.